We'll be talking about AI agents, sharing some of my experience, how I automated fully, all the operations, marketing, a lot of typical day-to-day startup work from zero to fully automated, making agents work while you sleep and all of that. But before we get into the topic, I'll like to give a quick introduction about myself. So I'm Nishit. I completed my master's in information management from University of Washington in Seattle, and now I then co-founded a startup of my own, and I basically I'm the chief product officer there with two of my other friends. It's called Inkskill. We are helping make websites accessible for the people with disabilities, and I don't know how, but I was fortunate to get into Forbes 30 under 30 this year. So that's good. And yeah, I'll talk about everything and anything around automation and agentic workflows. Feel free to stop me or just turn on your microphone and ask me a question, since there's very less participants right now. So I think we can do a quick back and forth, and I can answer your questions as well. So these are some of the tools. I don't know, like, do people have any experience or have heard about these tools before, but just to make it interactive, I want to keep it really interactive, remove the fluff, remove the theoretical part. I just want you guys to learn, practical stuff, how that is being used in startups these days. So it would be great if you could keep that interactive. And, if not through microphone, feel free to just, drop a text in the chat. So have any of you guys heard of,
Masters in Information Management. Sheesh.
hello? Cool. Yeah. So, have any of you guys heard about any of these companies below? And the logos you see: Vercel, Zapier, Lovable, and Relevance AI. A quick text if any of you have heard about any of these companies before. No problem. Okay, you've heard about Zapier. Nice. Just trying to understand the room, Just heard but didn't use. No problem. Cool. We'll get into that. Cool. So before we get into, what are AI agents, this is what we're going to do in today's workshop, just to trying to give you guys a quick overview. We'll go over what are AI agents, what is the difference between AI agents and the traditional chatbots that are out there. Chatbots have been there for a number of years, right? Why is there so much buzz and so much talking about AI agents now, right? How is it really different from that? What are the real world use cases? What are the different applications they're being used in? We'll also try, building one of our own sales agent in this particular workshop. I'll walk you through all the steps. We'll play around with one of the tools, which is Relevance AI. I'll walk you through the core concepts, how to drag and drop and build all of that without coding knowledge, right? This is a quick overview. Okay, so the main question, what are AI agents? Like, in your knowledge, whatever you know about it, even if you don't, like, what do you think AI agents are? How is it different from something like a chat GPT? Any kind of information that you know about AI agents? Just a quick short in single word, single. Anyone? From what I know, they can do tasks in the environment they're in automatically. Exactly. Yep. There's multiple ways to, define that. But let's go to the theoretical, definition or introduction to that. So AI agents are actually autonomous programs that sense their, digital environments. They are intelligent, they can make decisions, they take actions to achieve specific goals. They understand, what is the intent of the user that is coming to use that particular agent. So there are basically three concepts that make up an agent. First one is the prompt. I'm sure you all know about prompting. You all use ChatGPT heavily, right? So it's basically the instruction that we give to an LLM or an AI, infrastructure, which defines the identity of the agent as shown here. What is the purpose that we're trying to do, and how is it going to do that? That's the prompt, instruction that we give to AI agent. That's the first part. Then the second one is tools, right? Tools are nothing but software functions. What are the main components out of which an AI agent is built? Like what is it really using? What is the kind of work that it will do? Is what we call as tools. And the third and the most important one is the knowledge base, right? It's not like AI agent has a brain of its own. I'm sure like it does, but it needs some kind of source to, query information to make sure it doesn't hallucinate, or to, get the context of what the user is asking, right? So it needs a knowledge base. Knowledge base can be any kind of data, right? It could be an Excel sheet. It could be a text, a huge text, 500-word essay explaining about what are different kinds of, cats, for example, right? So that could be a knowledge base as well. And then it could be as complex as a SQL database, or any other kind of database, right? So that's the knowledge base, that the tool would query whenever a user or a person, asks it a question. Next, a lot of you must have, this question, like what is the difference between a chatbot and an agent, right? It's very clear. So a chatbot basically works on a rule-based scenario. It's very definite in its working, right? If I can explain this flow chart, there's an incoming user message. The chatbot is like it's a predefined rule in a chatbot that understands, if there's an email address there, you have to go through the email route. But if there's another message that the user has sent, for example, like say you're interacting with something like Grubhub, right? And you ask the agent, where's my order? So it analyzes and understands the text that, that it's definitely not an email. So it's definitely a question. So it goes through that route, right? So it's a rule-based thing, as shown in the text below as well. So it follows a predefined scripts and respond to specific inputs, right? It's not like you put anything and everything there and it would give you an answer, right? I'm sure it would give something, but not, you know, very apt or the answer that you're looking for. It is just used for handling, simple task specific interactions. It has limited learning, typically rely on predefined rules, as I mentioned. The next is agent that we're going to talk about. It relies on three different things: prompts, tools, and knowledge base. It works autonomously, so you don't have to refine it again and again. It can be self-refining as well in some cases. It's intelligent. It can make decisions on its own. It's capable of handling complex tasks and can learn and adapt over time. That's the main difference. If I could say in one word, chatbots are rule-based, predefined. Agents are can handle complex tasks and has intelligent decision making. Next is, what are the use cases, some of the use cases of AI agents, right? I've listed some of the agents below, which is, for example, email or message responder. An agent can be something like, for example, automatically replies to an email that comes into your inbox or DMs on Messenger, or Microsoft Teams or Instagram for that matter, based on templates that you build or a trained behavior, right? I'll explain more about that, but just trying to give you an overview of where exactly AI agents are being used right now. Then there could be a meeting scheduler, right? You don't have to say, you work in a big company, something like a Google, and you receive a number of emails throughout the day for different kinds of meetings that you have to attend. but you don't have the capacity to go back and forth and schedule meetings. What we can do is you can create a scheduler agent which would analyze, what the email is about and how many people to invite to that meeting, and then you can then that agent can basically schedule that meeting while you sleep, or automatically while you do different things. So it enhances your productivities. It has the access to your calendar, to your inbox, and it can understand, this is the email that I received from John, for example, and he's trying to schedule a meeting next week. So what is the available slot for Nishit next week? And he can, and then it can, schedule a meeting there. Next is something like order tracker. It can read your inbox, understand what kind of orders are getting delivered today, tomorrow, or this week, and it can give you a small update on your text message or something like Messenger, right? And then there are other applications like study assistant, data entry assistant, like AI agents are specifically being used nowadays in those kind of tasks, which are very repetitive in nature, right? Which are very manual, boring tasks. So all of that could be automated through these agentic workflows, right? Something like doing your budgeting based on, like how much are you spending throughout the week or throughout the month. It can compile a list of all your emails that you receive from your bank, total the cost, divide it into different categories, and then after a month, on first of every month, it can give you a summary of, what is your total spending for the week and things like that. So any questions till now, guys? This is pretty standard till now, if, but yeah, again, just turn on your mic and let me know if you guys have any question. So next, coming to types of agents, AI agents. One is fully autonomous. For example, something like an sales agent, right? It will do end-to-end thing by its own. For example, it will search LinkedIn for leads for your specific startup. For example, if I run a pet grooming company, it would specifically find people from social networking websites such as Reddit or Facebook, for that matter, who are looking for pet grooming options or pet grooming services in Dallas, Texas area, for example, right? It would query that database, capture all those leads, give it to me. I will do something with that data and then book an appointment for these people or reach out to these people to, give them a quote or provide them a quote for their particular dog. Just, you know, hypothetically creating a example here. Then the other one is Copilot, which would not do end-to-end work for you, but this is something which requires a human intervention in between. This is specifically used for cases where there's a need for human, and you want to make sure that the AI is not hallucinating, or it's a very important domain or task that you're doing, and you don't want it to go wrong. For example, in healthcare, or in something like banking, or even in something like Grubhub, right? You want to make sure that a human intervenes at a particular point when you're refunding um, an order, so that they can make sure that it's the right thing to do and AI is not hallucinating at that point. So that is a co-pilot solution or a co-pilot type of an agent. And the other one is fully autonomous, which is like end to end. The AI agent will do your work. There's no human intervention. These are the two basic types. So what is the opportunity? Why is there so much talk around, AI agents, and why is it like, is it really useful, and in what cases? So if you run a business, it can really help you reduce costs, reduce labor costs. For example, you don't have to, in general cases, you don't have to hire a entry level salesperson to refine your leads or gather your leads, and something like an AI agent would do your work here, and specifically for operational tasks as well, right? There's increased efficiency specifically for small startups, small teams, three people or three students working on a startup, working on a product, and they don't have the resources to hire a lot of people. These kind of solutions can really help, in less cost, you can do a lot of things. Then for business owners, people who have no coding knowledge or tech knowledge, you can use something like relevance AI that I'll show you moving forward, and drag and drop and build an agent that works for you, right? So there's less technical barrier to creating these workflows, and there's competitive advantage as well, right? You can quickly adapt to changing market, changing needs. You don't have to hire another person, train it, according to what is happening. You can just create an agent and it will work for you while you sleep as well. Then for students and employees, it can help you enhance your productivity. You're spending less time, specifically if you're in a university student. You have to juggle multiple tasks. You're doing a part-time job. You're also looking for jobs and things like that. So a lot of things could be reduced through creating an AI agent. And also, like, it helps you if you learn this, if you it'll really help you get a good job, since the whole ecosystem is changing now. So moving forward, this is the tool that we'll be going through. I'll walk you through what is relevance AI, and how can we create an AI agent on that. This is one of the tools that I used in my last startup, and I think it's one of the best tools out there. It's an Australian startup that emerged into a big company. They have more than 100 million ARR in just 3 months. So, and I think it's really powerful. I genuinely like products which has good design, and it's very easy to use. So I think this is one of them. It's, as you can see, it's a platform that helps you build smart AI agents without the need to code. It provides you the capability to build AI agents without the need to code. But if you know coding, you can put code there as well to create more complex, more advanced version of it as well. So it's a good platform for every kind of a person, right? With that, you can create like simple, you can create tools that your agent would use. So basically, every function that your agent would do is called a tool, right? And an agent is made up of multiple tools, and each tool generally does a different work. For example, a tool would just gather leads, the next tool would just read your inbox, the third tool would generate an email through an LLM, and the fourth tool would combine everything and send it to the person. And all of these tools together are called an agent, right? So it has dashboards as well for tracking how your agent is working and doing, and what is the accuracy of that and things like that. So yeah, I think I've already talked about most of these things. So relevance has all of these things. Like, it provides you with the knowledge base. You can choose with multiple LLMs. Do you want to use OpenAI, or do you want to use Google's Gemini? It has all the LLMs inside it. You can create if-else loops. It has integration with most of the big players out there. Slack, Google, Teams, all of that. Discord. It has integrations with all of them. This is just the last slide, and then we'll go into the main, building part of it. Um, as I explained, an agent is built up of multiple tools. So that is called a single agent system, right? You give us normal prompt, you create a flow, and you have multiple tools. Then there's an enhanced version of that, which is multi-agent systems, right? Which is nothing but a, a combination of more than one agents. So that is also possible. We'll talk more about it moving forward. So multiple agents work together to do or complete a task. Yep. So hypothetical scenario that I created for you guys. We'll walk through before I get into like the practical part of it. Any questions, guys, till now? Like, I know theoretical part is boring and you guys can learn that from YouTube or any other articles as well, but just wanted to make sure everybody's on same page. Um, any questions till now before we get into the practical part of it? Cool. I'm just referring to Tanmay's answer at this point. Tanmay is my best friend. If Tanmay says nope, everybody else says that. Cool. So I'll go to relevance. So this is the landing page. It's called relevanceai.com. You guys can take a look after the workshop. Right now, I just want you guys to, follow me and understand what I'm doing so that it's pretty easy. You will find, many resources on YouTube, but I'll walk you through that. And so you have to create an account, do all of that basic stuff, right? But I have an account, so I'll just log in. So on the left, you'll see a panel which has a bunch of options. Normal settings, it has some predefined templates so that you don't have to, build your own templates. It's very enhanced. If you don't know how to build one, you can start with typing, what do you want to achieve, and it will create that agent for you. But this is something that you can try on your own. This is the easiest part, but I'll explain, how to like build an agent from scratch. And there are like trending agents there. It's called APLA, the prospect researcher, prepare detailed and nuanced research for every account, right? It helps you like go through LinkedIn, gather an account and do research on, where does the person work, where did he study from, and then create a personalized scenario for him. A marketing agent, it will help you hyper personalize your emails and things like that. So these are some predefined agents that relevance provides you, right? An SEO blog writer, calendar booking scheduler, as I talked about, an FAQ writer, which is just trained on, creating FAQs from multiple FAQs around different websites, right? And these are different tools. As I explained, tools are nothing much, it helps you achieve a specific task. So there's some pre-built tools. For example, this particular tool will just perform a Google search. You can enter what do you want to search on Google and it will do that for you. This particular tool, for example, will extract data from PDF. This tool will get company profile from LinkedIn. For example, you want to search about Meta, or like a person has come up to your website, filled your customer form, and now you want to search where does the person belong to, like which company does he or she work at, right? So then you can use this particular tool and things like that. So for today's scenario, we're going through this. I'm creating a hypothetical scenario where, say, I run a mobile pet grooming startup, and we are running in premium luxury segment in Seattle, Washington. Since there are like many pet parents, or most of the people have dogs in Seattle, Washington, I think that is the perfect place to open a pet grooming company. So, and we are in luxury segment, you will not competing with something like a Chewy or any other, Costco or something like that. Uh, we have mobile vans, high end. We are going above $200. We're going to provide ultimate care and spas for your dogs. We're building that kind of a company. The challenge is I want to differentiate from my competitors. I want to make sure when I reach out to them, I hyper personalize their quote, or the message that I send them is very personalized, looks and feels really happy, and looks and feels like, I genuinely care about their pup, and we genuinely, want to provide a better experience to their pets, right? And so the issue is, you can do this from chat GPT, or a salesperson can do that if you have low inbound, queries. For example, if only say 20 people a day are just landing on your website, and out of that only 10 people register for your service, you can hyper personalize and create a personalized message for them. But what happens if this if your company blows up, you receive a good amount of funding, and now you're a big company. You're not just in Seattle, but also you're in Texas now, right? You're receiving hundreds and thousands of customer submissions data, and now you want to make sure and each and every person receives their quote on time, and it is hyper personalized. So that is where something like an agent comes in, and it can do work for you. So what we'll do is we'll create an AI agent that calculates dynamic price quotes based on breed, weight, treatment, and special needs. So as I explained, we're a advanced or premium startup. So I just don't want to, do the normal grooming stuff. We want to make sure that I take care of a pup's special need, right? For example, we'll ask customer or our clients, if their dog has social anxiety or is aggressive, if their dog has arthritis, or if their dog is a senior dog. We want to make sure that we're providing the best experience for each and every particular pup, right? Tailored to their needs. And so for that, so that I don't have to do everything and anything here, I have created some data, a dummy data for my startup. So what I'm using here is Airtable. Airtable, for if you guys don't know what Airtable is a fancier version of Microsoft Excel, right? I just find Excel very boring, so I use Airtable to create my database and manage my database. Similar to that, here you can create rows and columns, input data, and connect it to your form. For example, the form that is there on our website, if the pet parent or the client lands there, they fill that particular query form, and all that data is coming to this particular database, right? So it's nothing much, but my DB or my table for customer queries. Just to give you a quick overview of how the table looks like, in my form, we are asking the customer name, what is their dog name, what is their dog breed, they select that as well, what is the kind of treatment that they need. So I have just like fixed number of values in that particular form. And so they select one of them or multiple treatments that they need. For example, Emily just needs ear cleaning for Buddy, right? And Michael needs flea treatment for Bella and things like that. Then preferred service, do they need luxury spa package or a mobile service or in saloon visit, or is it an express service that they can't wait, they're going on a holiday with their pup and they want to make sure that their pup is groomed, right? So we charge extra for express service. And then what is the dog weight, right? And is the size of their dog, and are there any special needs or health needs, if any? For example, Bella has arthritis, so we want to make sure that we're very softly handling the movement of Bella and things like that, right? So since to improve our cost and everything, I want to make sure that we are giving a dynamic pricing to each and every customer based on what is their dog weight, what is their dog size. Some breeds are big in size, some breeds are small in size, and some breeds have long hair, some breeds have small hair, right? So it's not like there's one set of pricing for each and every dog, right? I want to make sure I make good profit on each and every dog, right? So I want to do dynamic pricing for each and every customer and then send them a very sweet personalized email. So what I'll do is I'll go to Relevance AI to build this particular agent, which queries my data, creates a personalized message for my client, and then sends it to that particular client. I just realized I don't have email here. I'll just add another column, email, create field. So emily@xyz.com. I'll just put some dummy data. I hope you guys are following till now. If you have any doubts, please put it in the chat. I just don't want it to look like I keep on speaking and nobody's able to understand anything. This is for you guys. So, and just one more. Cool. So imagine, I have like multiple more emails for each and every one here. What I'll do is I'll go to Relevance AI. I'll go to tools. Then I'll create a new tool, right? So this is the workflow builder or the main page where you have everything that you need to, build a tool. This is the tutorials, if you want to look at Relevance Academy, they have some good, really, really good videos on how to do integration, how to build knowledge base, or, how to add tools and configure tools. But for now, I'm going to teach you how to do it. This is the input section. If you want to provide any input to your tool, you can do that from here. For example, text, if it's a text input, if it's a long text, if it's a paragraph, if it's a number, a JSON text, which is nothing but key value pairs, or if you want to upload a PDF or something like that, right? There's a number of inputs here. What I'll do is I'll add a step in my tool. Like first thing is I want to connect this tool to my Airtable tool, right? So I'll just, and as I said, Relevance has mostly all kinds of integrations. It connects to Gmail, Google Calendar, HubSpot, Outlook, LinkedIn, Notion, Slack, Trello, and a number of other things, right? So I'll just search for Airtable here. Sorry, Airtable. Yeah. So when I search Airtable, it gives me different functions that it already has built for Airtable. For example, this particular thing would do an API call to Airtable to fetch the data. Makes, as you can see the description, makes an authorized request to an Airtable API. This one would just create a comment on your table. This one, for example, would create a field. This one would create multiple records on your table, right? But what we want to do is we want to fetch data from our database, right? Since the user has already filled our pet grooming form on our website, now we want to fetch that data from that particular table. So what I'll select is I'll select list records, right? Because I want to list everything that's there in my Airtable. I select Airtable, and you connect to your Airtable account. So I'm already connected right now, but what you can do is you click on add account, and then it will take you to your Airtable website, and it will authenticate and connect your Airtable account. So for now, I'm just selecting my account. And as soon as I select my Airtable account, so if you can see here, my base was called pet grooming quote, and the table inside that is called website form data. Base is nothing but a combination of multiple tables, right? So how you have Google Drive, it's a drive version of Airtable. So for example, I'm calling it pet grooming quote. So everything related to my pet grooming startup would be here, and that I have a particular table which is connected to my website, and it's getting all the data from there. So as soon as I connect my Airtable, it would automatically give me the bases I have in my Airtable account. So it gives me pet grooming code. I select that. Then it says which table do you want to query? Since we only have one table, we're not receiving too many options here. But either you can select from drop down which table to select, or if you click this, you can also put your table ID. So if you look in the URL, this is your app ID and this one is your table ID. So we'll just copy the table ID so that it queries the same table. And we'll just put it here. So if you want to sort by any field, sort by direction, you can select that as well, ascending, descending. We'll select descending since we want the most latest ones. Then you filter by formula if you want to filter by any particular row or things like that. And then what I'll do is I'll just try to see if this is getting me the right kind of result. So I'll just run this step. So it's querying data from my Airtable account and it should bring all the values. Yep. So if you see, it's bringing all the values, right? This is what I had in my table, but in a JSON format, right? So fields, customer name, William, dog name, Luna, dog breed, treatment needed, dog weight, dog size, Sophia, Charlie, we add all these people here just to make sure. Sophia is there, James is there, William is there. Yep. So it's getting all these values. So what this tool is doing now, it's querying all the data from Airtable, right? Now we have the data. Now, what I want to do is I'll just name it, and you can define this particular tool so that you name this particular tool so that you don't forget it. I'll just name it Airtable underscore data. So this is my Airtable data, right? And if you expand it, you can see all of that. So run this step. Next, in the workflow builder, I'll add another step and I'll add an LLM here. Why? Because I want to take intelligent decisions here. I don't want to send my message to each and everyone every time. I just want to make sure that the most recent one, like the most recent record that was created in the table, or the most recent customer that came to my website only receives the message, right? So this is the LLM box here, and I'll give it a prompt. And this is the model section where you can select what model to use. It has multiple options: OpenAI, GPT-4o, 4.1. All the latest models are updated here time to time. If you want to use Anthropic, Perplexity, Google, it has all the options. I'll select OpenAI. We'll go with that, which is the most popular one, and we'll go with the 4o mini, right? Now, I'll say it from curly bracket. So if you want to refer your previous step, you do that through double curly brackets. So as soon as I put double curly brackets, it shows me my previous tools, Airtable data, right? So it's showing me two things: Airtable data dot status, which is 200. 200 is nothing but that it was a verified or a good call. So, but we don't need that, right? We don't have to do anything with 200. We need this data, which is Airtable underscore data dot response body. And you can also see, what the data is so that you're querying the right thing. So we'll select this. So from the above tool, give me the most recent customer details based on created time field. Based on created time. So whichever is the most recent one, I just need that. Give me the most recent customer details based on the created time field. Make sure you only give me the single entry and no other text or data. Yeah, it doesn't really give you the perfect thing at once, so you have to keep refining it to make sure what you need it delivers. So let's try running and see what it's getting. uh so yeah, it definitely gave us an answer, but this is unreadable, so I'll just convert it to a prettier format. So if you click formatted here, it'll show you the formatted text. So out of all the entries, I gave it a prompt that, from this, I need the most recent one. So it intelligently thought which is the most recent timestamp, and it gave that particular entry to me. So now we have the most recent one. So every time we run this particular thing, it would get the most recent entry out of the website. Now, what I want to do is I have some set of rules that I've already created, which are these. I'll just go through that. So what I've thought for my startup is that my base price, no matter what dog comes in, my base price would be $40. And after that, based on if the dog is a easy breed, medium breed, high breed, or a very high breed, I'll add particular dollars to it. So for example, if it's a easy breed, I won't add any dollars to it. But if it's a medium breed, I'll add for example, if it's a bulldog, golden retriever, I'll add $5 more. If it's a high intensity breed, I'll add 10 more dollars, and very high, I'll add 15 more dollars. I've just like given the logic here or formula here. And if the treatment is just bath and brush, I'll do $0. If it's nail trimming, I'll add $5 more. If it's ear cleaning, I'll add $5 more, and things like that. Then same for service. What kind of service does the customer need? If it's in salon, I'll just add zero. Express is $10 more. Mobile service is $15 more. If you want us to come to your house, we'll do $15 more. And if it's a luxury spa package, I'll do 25 more. And then again, something for dog, right? If the weight is less than 20, 0, 21 to 50 pounds, $5 more. Same for size. If it's a small size, 0, medium, 5, large, 10. And if there's a special need, I'll add 10 more dollars. Otherwise, $0. Then this is the logic I'll give to my LLM so that it thinks intelligently about it. What I'm telling it is keep the final price as 40, and then what based on whatever the customer details are, add all these categories to it. For example, 10, 5, 5, 10, 5, 5, and give me the final price, right? What I'll do is I'll copy this whole logic. Yep. And I'll go here, add another step, again give it to LLM now, and I'll name the step LLM underscore most recent customer, right? Make sure I just run it. Delete, format it. Sorry. Yep. Now we need this particular data to calculate the cost. Now what I'll say is for my pet grooming startup, luxury pet grooming startup, it's better to provide as much context as possible to the agent so that it gives you the right answer. For my luxury pet grooming startup, I want you to think like a 10 plus years of experienced sales person which has skill set in creating or skill set in budgeting and calculating costs for a particular client on a dynamic basis. Then I'll say this is the rule for calculation. Then I'll say calculate the final cost for then I'll for LLM most recent customer, right? We just want to make sure then calculate the final cost, sorry, for again double curly brackets and LLM most recent customer, and give me with an answer or final price plus the breakdown. Let's see how it works. So I'll just run this tool now to see what it does. Running the step, thinking. So it's getting the context from the previous step and it gave us an output. Let's see. To calculate the final price for William Taylor, so it understood what was the most recent customer. dog Luna, we will follow the provided rules and modifiers. Base price was 40, dog breed was this, treatment was this, preferred service was this, dog weight was this. It's getting all of these details from here, right? Step one, it determines the modifier. Since it's a Chihuahua, and so you just add like $0. If it's a teeth cleaning, then you add $10 more as per our rule. Same, it's a mobile service, you add $15 more and things like that. And it did all the calculation, added all the costs, and gave us the final price, right? So this is the dynamic cost for Luna, $90. And we're not doing anything, and it's working on its own. But I need to pass this particular information to the next step, but I don't need all of this information. So just to make sure we clean it, I'll add another step, pass it to another LLM. I'll just name it cost. The previous one is cost calculation and cost calculation, or like cost breakdown actually. Cost breakdown underscore LLM. And that again, when you rename it, it goes back. So we have to run it again. Cool. So it's giving the same output. Then I'll add another LLM block here. And I'll say from previous step, which is cost breakdown LLM dot answer, just give me the final price and nothing else. I want to use that pricing data in the next step. So do not give me any fluff, just the price. For example, $120, something like that. I'm just like giving a very complex, or like highly explaining the prompt so that it doesn't hallucinate. I'm telling it how to give me, like, in what style do I need the output, and what do you have to do with the previous one. So let's run this thing and see if it's giving just the amount to us. It should give us like $90, just the $90. See, it gave us just that, no fluff, removed everything, understood what the context is, and gave us the answer for it. So this was just an example. Now what we want to do is, I want to pass this information to create a quote, a personalized quote, which looks like it has been created by a human specifically for me, right? So actually we don't need this particular step. I just wanted to show you, like, it can, just provide the cost out of it. Next, what we can do is we can do another LM and say, now I want you to write a personalized quote for my customer, since I run a luxury pet grooming startup. Make sure it's personalized, has dog emojis, and also based on data, which is my most recent data is this, right? So we'll refer this again, LLM most recent customer, and based on LLM most recent customer, refer also include a text for its special needs based on templated text I have. I'll just explain what I'm doing here. Uh, so similar to this, I have a template of, for each special need, what do I have to write, right? So the LLM doesn't hallucinate, and my customers receive a templated or a, you know, the same kind of message every time. I just want to make sure, it's following some rules and guidelines. So what I'll do here is I'll just give it a template, right? So if the dog has arthritis, we'll say something like, we understand dog name has arthritis. Our groomers are trained to handle joint sensitivity with extra care, and will ensure your dog is groomed gently and comfortably. Similar to if it's allergic to shampoo, we'll say something like, we'll be using hyper allergenic, wet-proof products and things like that, right? So what I'm telling it is, if dog has special need, refer to the template below, and whatever special need matches from this, make sure you add that message there. Also include the text for its special needs based on the templated text I have below. Replace the dog name in templated text with dog name from LLM, uh, 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 LLM customer answer, right? Address, and then next rule is address the user by client name from data. So let's run this and see what happens. It should give us a message for our client. See, so it wrote down a message for us. Dear William, at our luxury pet grooming service, we believe every pup deserves the royal treatment. We can't wait to pamper your lovely Luna. It understood the context, what is the dog name, with special teeth cleaning. That was the thing that they wanted, all from the comfort of your home, since they needed a mobile service. We understand that Luna is a large Chihuahua. It understands the breed, it understands its name, and we'll ensure her grooming experience is gentle and comfortable as possible. If there are any specific needs or preferences you would like to consider, please let us know. And it's giving the special need note separately. We understand that Luna has arthritis and our groomers are trained to handle, etc. So, but this doesn't look very apt, right? Because it's previously saying, let us know the specific needs, but the user has already told us the special needs, right? So we'll refine it again. So we'll just say, I'll add it to the above prompt. Do not add this text since we already know the special need, and make sure the special need text is part of the same email flow, and you do not give it separately. So we don't need it to be separate, at the end. We just want it to be look like natural flow, and it should be part of the email. We're less on time. I'll just make sure I quickly wrap it up. Also remove emojis. I don't like emojis here. So it give a better answer to us. Dear William, all the details, and now we recognize Luna has special needs. Our groomers are trained to handle joint sensitivity with special care and things like that. So it's giving a natural flow. And now what I want to do is automatically send them an email. So we'll go to Gmail here, see a Gmail thing, select send Gmail email thing. To email, we'll pass the email of uh, the customer here, and in email body we refer to this particular message every time, LLM underscore 2, right? LLM underscore 2, which doesn't exist. Okay. Yeah, so basically it's, so if you connect your Gmail account here, you can authenticate your Gmail account, then send the to email here, and in the email body you can just refer to this particular thing, and when you run it, it will send that person an email. So next, what would happen is every time a new user comes to Airtable, it will gather their email address, gather the client details, create a personalized code for them, and send it to its particular email. So we're less on time. I just want to make sure you guys understood whatever you could, from this particular thing. And contact me afterwards. This is my contact details. If you have any more questions, we can connect on LinkedIn. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick head start on what it looks like so that you could, whenever you go next on YouTube or, learn from somewhere else, you can understand it. Thank you. Any questions?
No.
Was it helpful in any sense?
Yes, for sure. It definitely helped me understand how AI agents work in the first place. So, very helpful.
Sounds good. Cool. Thank you guys. Let me know if you have any doubts on anything else. We can connect on my email on LinkedIn as well. And yep, have a great one. Build something good for a hackathon. Try to use AI agents if possible after this workshop in whatever you're building. And yep, thank you.